Hi, it's Tuesday again. Welcome to another episode of Galaxy Gardens. My name is Chrissy, and we're gonna go in the garden behind me. Let's go. We are going to thin out our carrots and radishes today because they're big enough. I think ones like these I'll try to relocate. So I just put those three right here. We'll see if they take. Otherwise, you can come through, and if you don't want to try to relocate them, you can just take your scissors in here. Just give them a snip. We're going to be doing that with our carrots as well. Is that looking pretty good? So root crops generally don't like to be transplanted because it is so easy to break off the tip of the taproot. And once you do that, you're pretty much dooming it. But we'll see what happens. These radishes are looking pretty healthy, and I really hope they take because I want to try them, and I would like to make a stockpile of pickled radishes. So we started with these 2 rows, and out of all the ones I took out, we got a few more rows. This is why I left some extra space, so let's hope they take. Okay, now this whole side of black Spanish radishes is done. You can see we've added some more rows in. All I have to do is water it in for all the ones that we moved, and we'll be all set. Now I gotta go over to these turnips, and we're definitely gonna be using the scissors on these because they are super close together. It's kind of interesting seeing where there are obvious pockets of nutrients. I've been watering these every day just because, as you can tell, the top's a little it looks drier than it is. I actually just threw a bunch of mulch on here in the fall to see what would happen. I was hoping it would break down underneath, and it did, but on the top is still larger bits of mulch, which is kind of cool. But underneath it's like soft and broken down. You can see like little plants, bigger plants, even bigger plants. So let me go through. Basically, for all these root crops, I'm getting like a 3 to 4 inch thinning out between them, and that'll just give room for them to like plump up and get big without running into each other. You don't have to necessarily thin them out. I'm going to do that with the radishes. I find that helps, but we're definitely not doing it with the beets. So let me show you. This is our other radish area, and you can even see some of our radishes are starting to bulb up, so they definitely need regular watering, and this one's just really tiny. So we're not really going to move these so much. I mean, I got the spacing pretty good on them. So I'll just give them some water. So I just watered these. You can see already they're sticking out more. Especially this one down here. Look at that. It's kind of nice. You can also see where we transplanted some stuff. Obviously those ones that are a little bit droopy are the ones that got moved. We'll see what happens. Doesn't hurt to try. So let's go over to the carrots.
Practice.
Nice.
mints.
Way more trash in this one.
Yeah.
Look at that view. That is so beautiful. Like, it was like 2 or 3 days ago, I just came through and clipped all our greens, and they're already massive. And our Swiss chard that was really tiny just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I'm so proud. I hope you can hear me okay. There's a bit of a breeze. I am in the garden officially, and we're gonna be snipping some carrots. So I'm not gonna pull them out by hand like I did with the radishes. We're just gonna be using our scissors. So you can see not all of them are super tall, but then we have our varieties over here which are on the taller side. So we're gonna go ahead and thin those out. So you can see these. We are gonna thin them out, and we're gonna leave about 2 to 3 inches in between each one. So if you're thinning out your carrots, all you have to do is get it right at the base, give it a snip, and you're good to go. I like to start wherever the end is and kind of work my way left to right. It's just me personally. Carrots do not do well with transplanting. Like I said, root crops really don't like, especially ones with taproots, they really don't like getting transplanted. So I keep them a little too close together here, so I'll snip that. This is a good distance. If you're using your hand, it's about half a thumb, full thumb length. And you're just gonna go through and snip them. If you wanna hold on to your scraps and give them a rinse, those are really good as an addition to stir fry or on top of your salad. You can see we're making our way through here. I wanted to add another note that, you know, while we also don't transplant these, you also don't want to pull them up when they're close together, because you might damage the one that you're keeping, and we don't want that, especially with carrots because they grow straight down. All right, there we are. I've done this one, and this one. These ones over here still a little bit too short, so I'll keep an eye on them. Probably by early next week I'll be able to thin those out, but these look amazing. And we'll get nice big carrots, which I'm excited for. This isn't even gonna be our main carrot crop, so it's always good to get a couple. Before we go to our other carrot bed, I wanted to show you something that was kind of cute. So at the end of last year, one of the only things that was left was our cosmos flowers and our dill. So I saw this coming up and I was like, oh, that must be the cosmos. Hold on, get this garlic leaf out of the way. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't no, it like kind of looks like it. And then I saw that one of these was like a little bit more frilly. So I went and I did a smell test, and it's dill. I have a whole bunch of dill coming up in here. I have a lot of dill. I started, but we have some dill volunteers all in our garlic, so I'm gonna let them go. We're not doing nothing with them. But I just thought that was kind of cool. I also need to remind myself to start harvesting this lettuce because it looks gorgeous. Wow, that's a stellar view. You know, I almost did not get to clipping these carrots today. It's kind of funny how time gets away from you and how fast it moves as time goes on. But you know what? We're doing it today. It's gonna be totally fine. We're gonna get our carrots. I was gonna do it today. I think I'll do it tomorrow, and I'll record a video for you next week. But I was gonna put our okra and our beans in here direct sowed just to get a jump. We've had a pretty stable spring, as in, you know, not too many large temperature changes. We did have a little bit of a heat wave this weekend, but it was only for a couple days, so I wouldn't really count it as a heat wave. But I'm feeling pretty good that we're not going to have any more nights below 40. We do have one night, which I think is tonight, which will be in the upper 40s, and then from here on out it should be 50s or higher. So by the time our beans and our okra germinate, it should be in the mid 50s or higher. So that's my hope, at least. I'm considering getting some more going inside, but let's see how things go out here. We're on a pretty good track right now. But what else do we need to do? We need to plant our sunflowers, and we need to move the last of our soil over. So that's coming. It's definitely coming. Let's see if I can change this. There you go. Does that look nice? Lots of carrots and garlic. And this particular bed, we're gonna have okra in between the carrots. They're actually not terrible companion plants, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Carrots can be really time consuming, at least at this stage. Once you get past this and you have them thinned out, I mean, you're good to go. But like, I get it, sitting here cutting these like one by one, that gets old fast. So what I like to do is I'll come and do like a couple rows, and then by the next day I'm like, I could do a couple more rows, and then I will. And that's what I do. You just do a little bit every day, and eventually you are gonna get some big carrots and you won't get burned out. I've been seeing these little clusters pop up in some of the beds, and I actually just looked closely at what they are. And in our experienced gardeners, you know what this is. These are all tomato seedlings. There must have been a tomato that ended up under the soil. Now they're all popping up. That's so funny. I'm trying to remember what I have growing here. I think I had black crim, maybe? I'll look at my stuff from last year, but isn't that adorable? Just a cluster of tomatoes. Speaking of clusters, so we are in our bed with the white onions that we're gonna do the tomatoes, but I don't know if you can see some more clusters coming up. I planted cilantro, and we have little cilantro clusters coming up, and these will grow pretty fast. I think I planted slow bolt cilantro, so we'll see what happens. But cilantro is great because once it gets like a few inches high, you can just start cutting it, it'll just keep growing and growing and growing. But if it gets too hot, it doesn't really like growing, so you got a finite window to plant it. But then you can plant it again in the fall, and that'll be fine. And you can see in between we'll put our tomatoes for this year. So I'm sitting next to our garage, and I have a little seat of concrete blocks because we haven't put our ram barrels out yet for the year. We probably could have done it like a couple weeks ago, but until then I get my chair. You know, I see a lot of people getting into gardening the last couple of years, obviously because of things that are going on. It makes sense. And I see a lot of people doing it because they're scared. And you know, fear is a temporary motivator. If you are starting something and that's coming from a place of fear, yes, it's a motivator, but it's very short-lived, and that's not gonna keep you going over the long term. You know, fingers crossed things get better, and as they get better, you know, people continue to garden. But you know, honestly, I see a lot of people getting inspired and then finding a love for it and then wanting to continue it, and it becomes something that's like fun and you look forward to it, and you know, at the end of the day you get some food. I like it. It takes a lot of brain power to do all the planning, succession planting, all that stuff, and I like it because it's kind of like a puzzle to crack. But you know, you're gonna find some people who they do it and they start in a place of fear, and then when things get better, they'll be like, oh, I'll just go buy from the grocery store again. And you know, it's gonna happen. But you know, if you're growing food out of a place of fear of, you know, what if there's no food, I'm just letting you know that's not going to, it's not gonna help with the mundane parts of gardening, and there are mundane parts of gardening, okay? So I hope if you're new to gardening, or maybe you've been gardening for a while and now you're just kind of like picking up stuff, I hope either it is or eventually it comes to a point where it's something that you enjoy and that you build on, and it's not, you know, a temporary, you know, I'm not paying $7 in the store for apples. You know, I'll just grow my own apples, and then when they go down, you know, I'll just buy from the store again. I promise you, once you taste an apple from your own orchard, you're not going to want to go and buy it from the store. And I say that as someone who's been paying $7 for apples and actively complaining about it like everywhere. So fear is a motivator, but it's a temporary motivator. But you know what is a long-term motivator is when you find purpose for yourself and find purpose and meaning in the things that you do. And sometimes that requires a lifestyle change. Homesteading is a lifestyle, okay? And it's a lifestyle that you choose. You know, I don't think anyone just like ends up doing it, but you know, we enjoy it. And you know, that means we spend our money a certain way. That means we live our life a certain way. And you know, we're not necessarily homebodies, but we do put a lot of work on our property. But yeah, I hope if you're new to this, or maybe you're just gardening this year, maybe you're in a rut, I hope it ends up being something that you enjoy, or you find joy out of anything. I don't personally enjoy thinning out carrots. I think that might be one of the only things I don't really enjoy about planting, is thinning out starts. Maybe wheelbarrowing mulch. If you saw our, oh my goodness, if you saw our mulch series. But I needed it to get done, and now it's done. I don't have to do it again, or I'll just do a little bit at a time, and it's something I still like. And at the end of the day, you get a great product. You know, I know sooner than later we'll get carrots, and I love homegrown carrots, especially the varieties we have. Oh my goodness, they're gonna be so good. And that's a motivator for me. You know, it's something I enjoy doing, and I like the outcome. So my hope is that you find something similar for yourself. And So I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this really nice blue sky, sunny day. It's the first day in more than a few days where the sun's out and it's not hot and the sky's blue. So I'm gonna go enjoy it. I'm also gonna bring the girls some scratch because I haven't visited them yet, like at all today. Hello, sweet girls. I got a treat. I hope today was helpful for you if you're new to growing root veggies and weren't really sure what to do after you put a bunch of seeds in a line. If it was helpful for you, check out our link tree in the description. We do accept tips. All tips are appreciated. We have Cash App and Venmo. Otherwise, you can subscribe. You'll know we have new videos out. Usually they're on Tuesdays. Next week I'll have a planting video for you. All right now, I'm gonna sit out here and give my girls a snack because they work so hard. They work so hard, oh my goodness. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Looks like apple flowers.